Okay, let's talk about a recent decision from OpenAI that, well, really sent shockwaves through the whole AI community. It was a move that kicked off this huge debate about whether the company was kind of abandoning its core mission for something else entirely.
And the reaction was, wow, immediate, and it was intense. You could just feel the sense of betrayal across social media. A lot of users who'd been huge champions for OpenAI were now publicly shaming its CEO, Sam Altman, for what they saw as a total reversal of the company's values.
So, what on earth caused this huge uproar? Well, it all kicked off with a social media post that started out with some pretty standard updates. And then, it took a very, very sharp turn.
And yep, there it is. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, would now officially allow erotic content. For so many people, this felt like it came completely out of left field. It seemed to fly in the face of everything the company had been saying publicly.
And this really brings us to the heart of the controversy, right? This apparent hypocrisy. It's that classic case of what a company says versus what it actually does.
I mean, listen to this quote. This is how they define themselves. Their brand was crystal clear. We are serious researchers. Our mission is to build artificial general intelligence, AGI. That's an AI that can basically do any intellectual task a human can. That was their whole thing.
And it gets even more specific. Just a few months ago, Sam Altman was out there taking what seemed like a clear shot at competitors, explicitly dismissing the exact kind of AI application that his new policy now seems to welcome.
So when you put it side by side like this, you really see the conflict, right? On one hand, you have the promise of a serious, high-minded research organization. On the other, you have this pivot toward adult content. So what is really going on here? Now, faced with this massive backlash, Sam Altman didn't back down, not at all. Instead, he doubled down and clarified his position, framing this whole decision as a principled stand for user freedom.
So his argument was basically this. OpenAI's mission is to empower adults to use AI freely, as long as it's safe. He made it super clear that protections for minors and mental health stuff would stay firmly in place. He was really trying to frame this as an expansion of freedom, not a removal of safeguards.
And he used a pretty simple analogy. He said, look, OpenAI shouldn't be the world's censor for adult activities, just like a film board doesn't stop adults from watching R-rated movies. It's all about giving you the choice.
Okay, so the official explanation sounds pretty reasonable on the surface, but a lot of analysts believe it's masking a much more pragmatic and maybe even cynical business calculation about the future of AI.
So to really get what might be going on, we need to look past the moral debate for a second and dive into the super competitive world of AI.
And a key concept you have to understand here is something called LMM commoditization. It's a fancy term for what happens when basically every company has a large language model that's good enough, right? When everyone's tech is pretty much on par, that technical edge you had, it just vanishes.
And who better to explain this than Sam Altman himself? In an interview that kind of flew under the radar, he posed this really critical strategic question, and it gives us a huge clue into his thinking about where the real long-term value in AI is.
That's right. He believes that down the road, the company that's going to win the AI race isn't necessarily the one with the most advanced model. It's the one with the most users. The users, that's the ultimate prize.
So this points to a massive strategic shift. Think about it. If you can't be the best forever, your only real option is to become the biggest. And how do you do that? You broaden your policies. You open the floodgates to attract the absolute widest audience you can, capturing every single user, even those interested in adult content.
So this leaves us with two totally different stories, two competing narratives to explain this whole controversial pivot by OpenAI.
So which one is it? Is this a genuine, principled stand for user freedom and adult choice? Or is it a cold, calculated business strategy to build a massive user moat to protect themselves as their technology becomes just another commodity? The answer to that question is going to define the future not just for OpenAI, but for the entire AI landscape. As these incredibly powerful technologies keep growing, what's going to guide them? Is it going to be their founding mission, or is it going to be the raw demands of the market? This is a battle that is really just getting started.